Hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Rhys McKee. How are you, mate?
Yes, mate. Thank you for having me. Good to get on and have a chat with you.
Brilliant. So we'll just get straight into talking about the fighting. So what got you into fighting whenever you were younger?
Yeah, just just a bit of pre-season fitness for football. Kind of just killing time in the summer got me into it. When I went to MMA, it turns out I liked it more than football, and I never left since. So, it's a very addictive kind of sport, and it definitely hooked me in anyway.
Yeah, and then a few MMA fighters that I've had on have done jiu-jitsu and judo and all the different sports in the past. Have you done anything else?
Never, no. MMA was the only thing I ever done. No, that was it. I never had my hand inside a glove before I stepped in an MMA gym.
Yeah, and obviously whenever you're having your amateur career, you had a good amateur career. Is that what made you go professional then?
Yeah, well, like I never even really wanted a career out of the whole thing. I never really thought about it or seen it as an option. So I just had a lot of amateur fights, and then fought for a few titles, and then started thinking about going pro, and yeah, like it just all kind of happened very fast. So I never really wanted any of it, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah, and you had your pro debut, and you also won at Bama. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was a short notice fight. So I took that fight on 6 days notice, 5 days notice maybe, and my last amateur fight, it was his coach who had the fight, so it was a nice story to that too. So yeah, Bama was a big show, and Bama played a huge part in my career.
Yeah, and just as you said, they played a huge part in your career. I think it was your first 10 fights, was it you fought at Bama? And
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of them anyway. It was a lot of fights anyway. So yeah, and then obviously Bama folded, so I had a good run with Bama. It was good.
and then is that whenever you thought you were starting to make a name for yourself?
I think when I went 2 or 3 and I was a pro, I kind of seen more viable options of having a career, and when titles were starting to brought in, that you seen, if you win this and do this, then you might go there, and going there would be the career option, which would have been the UFC. So, I think it all kind of just, again, I know I keep saying it, but it all just kind of happened very very naturally. So it did, and yeah, just went with it.
Yeah, and then you had your Cage Warriors debut. How did it feel to get the recognition you finally deserved?
Yeah, it was good. Cage Warriors was a promotion, like at the time when I was fighting for Bama. Like Cage Warriors were kind of, I wouldn't say the rival, but they were the ugly brother kind of thing. And then to fight for them when Bama was done, it was good. It was historic because I remember that was probably actually the first time I thought about the UFC connection. Because I know Cage Warriors has such a path to it. So yeah, it was nice. But before that, I felt like I was starting to make a name for myself anyway. So it was kind of nice for Cage Warriors to have me as well.
Yeah, and you had two Cage Warriors fights, and then you finally went to the UFC. How did that feel?
Mhm.
And how did the UFC sort of get in contact with you?
Yeah, well, it was all short notice. I was due to fight for the welterweight title in Belfast, and then lockdown happened, so it was cancelled. And then I signed with Graham to be my manager because I kind of had an inkling that Fight Island would be a thing, and I knew if I was on his books, then it might be an easier chance to get in. Not an easier chance, a more likely path. And then somebody pulled out on the week of there, or someone needed an opponent, and it turns out that I got the call for that. So, yeah, it all happened very, very quick.
Yeah, and then you made your UFC debut against I'm terrible pronouncing names. Chazmat Chimaev. Is that
Yeah, yeah, that's the
close?
boy. Yeah, that's the boy.
Obviously doing very well in the UFC at the minute. Do you ever keep up with his fights just to see how he's going?
Yeah, I mean, I know what he's doing and I know what he's done, and like I'm a big fan of his work and stuff like that. But I'm not a massive fight fan. Like, I don't watch a lot of fights, but if there's someone like Hamza or someone who like there's a reason to watch it, I'll definitely tune in. So yeah, and I very much know what he's doing, and he's doing well.
Yeah, and then you had your second UFC fight only a few months later. You got beat by decision. Do you think that could have went the other way? Do you think you could have won it?
No, not with my performance. I definitely lost the fight, but I think if I went in with a smarter tactic and stuck to the plan a bit better, then I think I would have won that fight. But I mean, I definitely lost the fight. But I think with smarter kind of mindset in there, I would have won that. But I didn't.
And then obviously you went back then to Cage Warriors and won your comeback fight. How did that finally feel to get back on track?
Yeah, it was good. It was nice to go back. I wouldn't say it was nice to go back to Cage Warriors because I never planned to. But it was nice to get back winning again and back performing the way I should have done. I learned a lot from that experience, and I showed it against Kiwi at the time. So Cage Warriors again has become the stepping ground for me to get back to the UFC. So it's the same goal as the first time, but just now I have the experience of done it.
Yeah, and then obviously your upcoming fight at Cage Warriors here in Belfast, big fight, gonna be a cracking night. You're fighting for the vacant Cage Warriors welterweight title. How big is this fight for you?
Yeah, massive. I don't know what's bigger, the fact that it's a world title fight or that it's in Belfast. But like the fact that it's both is unbelievable. Like, as yourself and any kid from Northern Ireland will know how much this arena means to us. If anybody told you as a kid that you get to perform there, if anybody even told you get to walk on the ground where it is, you would be all over it. So
100%.
the fact that I get to main event it is mental. I'm all for it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and then a few of your mates, Paddy McCory, he's fighting as well. He's a big fight. How do you think that's gonna go for him?
Paddy's a brute, good training partner of mine now, and yeah, he's a tough fight, but like Paddy's just different. Paddy's just a different level, and as me and Paddy have talked a few times, there's just levels to the game, and you can't skip levels. Like it's very hard to beat someone who's been grafting away for years and years and years and years. So yeah, listen, he's just a different level.
Yeah, and then do you know much about your opponent, who you're fighting, and what do you expect from the fight?
Yeah, like I've watched Justin for a while now. He's been doing good stuff. He called me out. He called for the fight. I'm happy he did. He's probably the only one in that division that made a lot of sense for me now. So he's a tough fight. He's game. He's good everywhere. I just think I'm a bit better everywhere. And I think on the night I'll just chip away at him, and I'll get him out of there.
Yeah, and then I've actually seen on your Instagram as well, a few people have tagged in posts about all the advertisements over Belfast on the billboards and stuff. That must be great.
Yeah, it's mad. There was a banner or a billboard up one time in London, but it didn't mean much to me. Where when I was in Belfast, me and Rebecca drove up to see it because, it's cool doing a billboard in Belfast. It's just one of them things I'll always remember. So, yeah, it means a lot. But I'm trying to get them to put one up in Ballymena.
That's the goal, is it?
Yeah, the real big smoke. Do you know what I mean? Ballymena is a real big smoke. None of the Belfast car.
So you're still young enough. Is your goal to go back to the UFC here?
No, 100%. If my goal wasn't UFC, I'd be retired. My goal was UFC, and I want to get back there and get into the top position in the world, and go for everything I can, and that is very much the goal. So win here, get a nice finish against Justin, and I believe my papers will be waiting on me.
Brilliant. So I think that's everything covered, mate. Unless there's anything else you wanna say?
No, it's just thanks for having me on. It's been good, and I know you're going on the 25th, so you'll see a good night, no doubt.
Brilliant, mate. Can't wait. So thank you very much, mate, for coming on. I'll see you later.
Appreciate it, mate.
See you later. Bye.